Hello, David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. Today's a bit of a celebration, and it's a 58-year-old celebration. No, it is not my birthday, and that is not my age, but it is how long Turnbull and Asser has been associated with James Bond. Yes, that secret agent that we just seem to be a little bit, passionate about. And today they are launching an entire expanded, and as they call it, a refined line of James Bond collection. It's actually 5 pieces that really are an homage to different moments within the Bond franchise. And it does kind of cover the gamut, and we're going to talk about each piece today. One in particular I'm actually wearing. Yes, this is a shirt, and by the way, we're standing in front of, I would say what probably everybody's favorite movie. No, it's not Casino Royale, it's Die Another Day. It's not your favorite movie, that's a shock. But this is a shirt that pays an homage to the movie itself, to Brosnan. And here's the thing. The entire collection that we're going to be talking about to you today was derived from a lot of different aspects. And we're going to dive into that. So the process of doing this collection involved a consultation and archival products and paperwork, as well as film stills and, let's face it, many hours of footage. These exclusive pieces join the shirt maker's existing James Bond collection, which chances are you probably know about, much of which has also been refined, bringing them even closer to the on-screen originals, as well as satellite collection of complementary tailing and accessories. Turnbull and Asser's long-standing connection with Bond originates from author Ian Fleming himself, the creator of James Bond. And as a loyal Turnbull customer for many years, it was for this reason that Dr. No's director Terence Young, also a Turnbull customer, dispatched Sir Sean Connery to Jermyn Street, ahead of his role as the very first Bond of the silver screen. It was this relationship that saw the creation of the now iconic Dr. No shirt, as well as the Casino Royale 2006 dress shirt and bow tie. Okay, and with the best things in life, I want to make sure that I get these details right, because I did before an unboxing of this shirt. I wanted to make sure that I showed it to you right here and right now. You can see beautifully packaged, wonderful, interesting paper. It's got this kind of collars and shirts. And then when I opened up the actual box, it's got all the detailing of Turnbull and Asser, the things that you would expect from a Royal warrant company, and one that has this type of Bond heritage. Inside was a great note from Dan Stroup, who is my contact in the New York City store, but everybody involved in Turnbull and Asser from all over the world have been speaking to us about this line for a little bit. It's been in the making, but look at this shirt. This shirt, again, like I said, is an homage to Brosnan's shirt in Die Another Day. It's got a pleated front. It's got double cuffs. It's got their classic Turnbull and Asser collar as worn by Bond. And the exact number and spacing of this intricate detailed pleats have been immaculately recreated in homage to its on-screen original. Pretty darn cool. Now, I'm going to come up a little bit close just so you can see the fabric on this, and the fact that it is sheer. It's more sheer than my Sea Island cotton shirts from Turnbull and Asser because it's made out of an incredible fabric. It's super light. It's called Voyal, which is like a cantor or rabbi that performs a brisk, Voyal, not Moyle, sorry. It's called Voyal. And Voyal is a cotton fabric. It's very sheer, it's very light. This feels, you can see to my skin. For the faint of heart, you may want to wear an undershirt. Bond doesn't wear an undershirt. If you saw Lazenby in some of his Voyal shirts, I don't think he wore an undershirt. No, that's just not a Bond thing to do. I know, it's going to drive you all crazy. But this shirt feels like nothing, in the sense that it doesn't feel like there's anything on. And by the way, you saw my size in there was a 41. Full transparency, they did customize it for me. So they took their standard size because the fit is a regular fit, what that means is that it's a little straighter. It's not a slim fit. It's not a trim fit. And so the arms and the body would be a little boxier. No good for me. So what they did is they have my exact sizing at Turnbull and Asser because they've done some bespoke shirts for me. They tailored these perfectly. Look at the arm. The arm doesn't have any of those wonderful bat wings. As you can see here, fits perfectly in the body. Let's check out the back. If you look at the back here, fits perfectly, and it's got great movement. We're going to get really, really close and personal. Hello. But look at the fabric on this. And of course, I've got, I don't know, just Die Another Day cufflinks just to finish it off here. But the Voyal shirt is fantastic. And those pleats, the way they replicated the pleats from Die Another Day is perfect. Now, it's not 100% exact. There were some changes. It doesn't have the hidden placket that the one from Die Another Day has. And it has some changes around the buttons. So I've got to talk about this with a friend of mine who knows so much more about this aspect than I do. And it's none other than Matt Spaiser from Bond Suit. So guess what? Let's get him on the horn and talk about Turnbull and Asser with him. All right, and just like movie magic, because this is how it works, Matt Spaiser, welcome back to the show.
Hey, David, thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you. And you look, I know this is just a usual Sunday afternoon outfit, but what are you wearing?
Well, so I'm wearing a Turnbull and Astro shirt and a Turnbull and Astro tie. Now, the tie is very familiar. This is a very iconic tie from the Royal It's Not Enough that Turnbull and Astro has been making for a very long time now. It's really a beautiful tie. It's not the kind of thing that I'm drawn to typically, but when I saw it in person, I have to say that the way that it's made, the way that the pattern is all woven together, it looks beautiful. I got it more, I'd say, as a work of art than as a piece of clothing, because it's an Art Deco. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful tie. I think the craftsmanship is amazing, and that's what drew me to this. Even though it's not the kind of tie I'd normally wear, it is perfect for this discussion, I think.
It's perfect for this discussion. I was just explaining to the audience that today is a bit of a celebration for Turnbull and Asser. It's 58 years of their association with James Bond, and they've released what I would call an homage line, of different products. They say 5 different products. And I wanted to talk about each one of the products because, let's face it, Matt, and you're so humble, but I'm going to say this. Really, if I think about James Bond, sartorial, style, things like this, there's only one name. And it's not James Bond, it's Matt Spaiser. So I couldn't think of anybody else better to talk about this. But let's go one by one, if you don't mind. And I'm actually going to start with the shirt that I'm wearing. First of all, you have told me for, I don't know, years, we've known each other for a long time, about Voyal, this Voyal shirt. And I'm like, what's with the Voyal? I don't own Voyal, and that's Matt's. And Sea Island Cotton is for me. And I cannot believe how comfortable and airy this is. Why would you get anything else but Voyal?
Yeah, Voyal is a fantastic fabric. I think there's one fabric that I have that takes Voyal to the next level. Now, that fabric, I don't know if it's still made, but it's called Zendaline. It's basically a combination of Voyal and poplin, and it's like, it looks like silk, it feels like silk, but it's not as fine as Sea Island cotton, but it feels just as good. But no, Voyal is really great. I mean, there's nothing better to look dressed up, to wear if you're dressed up in hot weather. Voyal is it. Many of James Bond's dress shirts over the years have been made of Voyal. From the one in Dr. No to On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Spy Loved Me, Moonraker, View to a Kill, Octopussy, and then now you're wearing a shirt inspired by Die Another Day. Like these were all these Voyal.
Exactly. And it's interesting because Turnbull and Asser, when they were talking to me about the line, they were very frank about this shirt because they say this line is a refinement, like they're trying to get closer and closer to screen accurate. But this one is not really screen accurate to the Die Another Day. The silhouette and the pleats are similar, but for example, it doesn't have the same placket, right?
Right. Like that to me is a big difference. I think that's probably the biggest difference is that it does not have the covered placket.
Hmm.
That is a key look to the Die Another Day shirt. You know, the Die Another Day shirt is also has a Voyal body, but the collar and cuffs, those are, I believe, those are made out of a cotton Marcella. As is, I think the placket itself, the covered placket, has that texture too. It's a very unique shirt, and what you're wearing is still it's a beautiful shirt. You know, it's there's nothing wrong with your shirt. It's not exactly the same as a Die Another Day shirt,
Right.
but it's a beautiful shirt, right?
It's kind of almost like this amalgamation, kind of genericized Bond shirt. I know that they were saying that it was kind of taken from the Die Another Day, and I believe the Die Another Day one also had a button on the gauntlet as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that to me is that's a small thing.
Negligible.
I that to me is not like that doesn't make or break a shirt for me.
Right.
But I think it's just that the covered placket is the key element missing here. And but so when I saw this shirt, for the first time,
Yeah.
it brought to mind another Bond shirt, one that Turnbull and Asser didn't make, but it's with the narrow pleats and the button placket. It looks just like what Timothy Dalton wears in the Living Daylights.
And I love
I
that
think
scene. I
you know
love that scene.
it's one of the best
Amazing.
that scene. But it's I think that shirt, I think it's made of poplin rather than voile, but overall it looks pretty much the same. I that is I mean it still this shirt no matter what looks like a James Bond shirt. There's
Right.
no question about that.
All right, so let's talk about still staying on the shirt subject, and let's talk about one that I think you've made a thesis on or a study of at least, and that is the Dr. No shirts. They've got the Dr. No blue cotton shirt with the revised cocktail cuff as seen on James Bond. Now, here's exactly what they say, and then let's talk about it. Our previous Dr. No shirt will now be renamed to remove all reference to Bond. The cuff's going to be referred to only as a cocktail cuff because the newly revised one, after closely studying the film stills, is now truer to the original Dr. No shirt, and this revision is going to be communicated. So, what say you?
Yeah, I mean this is very exciting because for years they've been making cocktail cups and ready to wear. I can't remember. I mean, I can remember a time before they were selling the Doctor No shirt, just like what they've been selling for the last number of years now. I don't know, can't remember how long, but I do remember there was a time when you could walk into Turnbull and Asser and they had no cocktail cup shirts available at all. So this to me, when they first released this, even though the cocktail cup design they used was not the same design that Connery wore, I was still very happy to see it available. But it always bothered me that the cuff design was not the same, and because it's so hard to get cocktail cuff shirts anywhere. I mean, over the years, more and more people have been offering them. They've been getting a little easier to get than they were, say, even 10 years ago. But it always bothered me that it was not the same exact design as Connery's cuff. I've actually had various shirt makers. Over the years, try to replicate that with my own designs, trying to get that shape right. Now I'm really happy that Turnbull and Asser has made an effort to get the correct Connery shape, because it's a very special shape, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. And I guess they could have stopped there, but they also have a Casino Royale white dress shirt, the one seen obviously in Casino Royale. Now, this was a branded release ages ago, correct?
Right, and I think they've been making that shirt ever since. I don't think they ever stopped making it.
Okay.
I know that right now, I mean, before they had this new launch, they had that shirt available. But now what they have done correctly is the bow tie.
Yes. Talk to me about the bow tie, what they were doing before as opposed to what it is now.
So before they were I think ever since the launch of Casino Royale, I think they've been making a Casino Royale bow tie in satin silk rather than in what is it? I believe it's a shantung silk now.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, I saw the bow tie. It is beautiful. They and to an extent, shantung silk is known for its slubs. So this is not a smooth bow tie. The shantung silk bow tie goes really well with the ribbed ottoman silk facings of Daniel Craig's dinner jacket.
Oh.
I think that a satin bow tie, it's a lot shinier than the ribbed facings of the dinner jacket. So I think those clash a bit. Whereas with the shantung silk bow tie, that really it brings the texture into the bow tie to complement the texture of the lapels. So that was a great decision that Lindy Hemming made for Casino Royale, and I'm really happy to see that now Turnbull and Asser is offering the authentic bow tie. Because before they had the right shape. It's like a narrower shape than Turnbull's regular bow ties.
Yeah, and so you were just in Turnbull and Astor. I mean, did you find out how they discovered to use the right fabric as opposed to the previous one? Was it an aha moment?
I don't know. They weren't quite sure. Because they showed me the bow tie and they're like, "Well, is this more correct than what we've been selling for the last 14 years?" And so I saw that and I'm like, yeah, this is what they've always said it was, and it's actually really difficult to see on screen. I've looked at all kinds of photos of Daniel Craig and Casino Royale just to see, if I can find that texture. And none of like the screenshots that I could get, or none of the stills are actually sharp enough on the bow tie to really show the texture of the shantung silk. I can kind of see it in a little. So I did look that over again just to make sure that it really is shantung silk, and I believe that this is correct.
So Matt, talk to me. I mean, why is this Voyal shirt and Voyal shirts in general, why are they so soft?
So I'm actually not sure exactly why they're soft, but so what makes Voyal different from poplin is they're both woven in a plain weave. They just a simple over under weave, and but what makes Voyal different is that the yarns have a high twist to them. So and high twist yarns tend to they're easier to iron. They allow the weave, I think, to be more open. I mean, I'm no expert on this, but Voyal is a much more open fabric, so it does make it see-through, and that's the reason why you have the pleats in the front. That's one reason why the pleats are there, because it prevents the Voyal from being see-through. And when you're wearing a jacket, you can't see your chest hairs through it, and so things like that. But the high twist of the yarn just makes it a more of a high performance cloth.
Yeah. It's worth being a little bit more strategic about things jutting out when it's cold and things like that, because it is so comfortable. One other aspect I wanted to talk to you about this, as I opened the shirt and I did the unboxing, I saw the label and it said Turnbull and Asser, just like all of our other Turnbull and Asser things. And I thought to myself, all right, this is a bond line and there's no bond labeling. And I was actually very happy about that, because I think you and I have talked about when there's a 007 logo on a pair of sunglasses or too much Bond labeling, it takes away from the moment. Bond would not have a Bond label. Are you disappointed that this Bond homage doesn't have Bond branding on it?
No, the branding doesn't do much for me. I mean, it is nice having like your 007 like label on a box of chocolates.
Yes.
That I think is really cool. But it's to see a 007 label on clothing, I can take it or leave it. To me, it's about the clothes themselves. And
I agree.
The shirt is great, no matter whether or not there's a 007 logo hidden inside or not.
Right. It's about the heritage. It's about Turnbull and Asser.
Yeah, to me, the actual brand of Turnbull and Asser means a lot more in the shirt than seeing 007. Because from Turnbull and Asser, I know it's a Bond brand. I know it's a very old English brand. that makes so many great clothes. So I have no problem with not having the 007 logo at all.
Total agreement. Well, perfect. So, all right, help me with something, and I want to keep the ties to last. But the next piece that I saw in their celebration collection is the James Bond Voyal pocket square. And here's what it says: inspired by Bond's love of a good pocket square and based off archived receipts. This is the Bond pocket square that was originally commissioned for Diamonds Are Forever, but not visibly worn by Connery within the film. Is this a strange choice for part of the collection?
That is, because no, the thing about it with the pocket square, whether it's linen, cotton, voile, any kind of cotton, it's actually it's very difficult to tell what exactly the material is of the pocket square. And if this is based on something that Connery didn't even wear in the film, because he doesn't wear any pocket squares in Diamonds Are Forever, it is a little strange, but I think it's a great piece to complement the Voyal shirt that they're selling. Nothing wrong with it. If you want a great white pocket square, I think this is a great choice. But it's to me, it's nothing all that special.
Right. It might be, and this is about our opinions here. It might be the least earth-shattering moment of this collection,
Mm-hmm.
potentially.
Yeah, but it's I don't see any problem with it. I'm sure it's a very nice pocket square and very wearable for a great compliment to the Voyal shirt.
Absolutely. All right. Now we're going to hit the ties because there's 3 new ties, and you've seen the ties, you've seen the patterns. How excited were you about these ties?
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is what people have been waiting for decades now. People have been waiting for these ties for minimum 18 years. So I think it's just they're doing the right thing by re-releasing these ties.
Now, take me through them, because especially the 3 new ones, because you've got one from Tomorrow Never Dies, one from The World Is Not Enough, and one from Die Another Day. So Tomorrow Never Dies, where does he wear that new tie in the movie?
So he wears basically 2 Turnbull and Astro ties in the film. This is the first one he wears. He wears this, early in the film at his headquarters. He wears that when he's in that ride, taking a ride in the Daimler. He wears that tie when he arrives at the airport in Hamburg. It's this tie where he wears it all over the world, and it's a beautiful tie. It's one thing I like about this that we see in a bunch of Brosnan ties and some of his outfits is that he combines like some kind of blue and brown together, like a navy and copper. I think is the base is kind of the colors in this one, and to me, like that is such a versatile combination. You can wear it with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And the pattern is small, it's subtle, but it's there. It's just such an iconic pattern and a very wearable tie. I mean, this tie will not only appeal to Bond fans. I think that any Turnbull customer that goes into the shop is going to see this tie and want it.
Yeah.
It's just it's perfect.
What about the World Is Not Enough one? Where do we see that tie?
Yeah, that tie. So we see that in 2 scenes. Well, actually, with 2 different outfits. He wears that in the opening scene in Bilbao with the charcoal suit. Then he wears it again when he's driving the BMW Z8 through Azerbaijan. So he wears this tie with 2 different outfits, and I think that makes this tie even more iconic than it would have been if it was just worn with one outfit. And he shows that you can wear it with. He wears it with different gray suits, a little dark gray, light gray. He wears it with a white shirt, with a blue shirt. And like the Tomorrow Never Dies tie, I say this tie is just as versatile. And for me, this tie I think is this is my favorite Brosnan tie. This is absolutely my favorite Brosnan tie. I think when I saw it, it reminded me of Connery's ties because it's not a grenadine or knit tie, but it has that same subtle look to it. It's dark. It doesn't draw attention. but it has something special going on with it. It has that zigzag pattern.
Hmm.
The pattern doesn't stand out. It's subtle, but it's not as subtle as like a herringbone pattern would be. So I think it looks amazing on screen. This one is a must for me. I really need this one, and I know a lot of people have been looking forward to this tie. They've been wanting this tie for 21 years, and now they can have it.
It's exciting, man.
No, I know, this is the most. I think this tie is the most exciting piece in this collection.
So I was going to ask you that, like, which is the one thing that really stands out? So that's good that you
And
offered
that is
that.
this one, without a
Yeah.
doubt. I mean, the other ties are great too and very special, but I think that the World Is Not Enough tie is just so, I mean, so special and much easier to wear than the one I'm wearing now.
I don't know. That looks very avant-garde. I like that.
It,
So
it
the
is,
die,
but it's not the easiest tie to wear.
yeah.
Whereas these other ties that Turnbull and Asser is now releasing are easy ties to wear. They go with so many different things. You can wear them with almost anything.
Yeah. Now the Die Another Day tie. Where does he wear that in Die Another Day?
So that's the one that he wears in the hotel in Hong Kong.
Oh, excellent. When he shaves and he gets all cleaned up and everything.
Yes, after he gets all cleaned up, he puts on this tie.
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's a well, it's a very. I always found that scene so amusing for all the brand, all the product placement that you see in that scene. It's just, but
Brioni, the shaver, everything.
yeah, I mean, you see the Brioni shirts, you see so much in there, and the Bollinger. But also isn't that the kind of scene that lifestyle people like us live for?
Live for. Like if they
We
have a
want.
scene like that in No Time to Die, we're all just gonna melt like the end of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but I guess when I see this, I saw this scene in Die Another Day. It was like this is really cheesy. Seeing all these brands put out on display, it's really really obvious. We don't have to hunt for any of the brands. It's all there for us. But it was it was kind of it was a scene that made me think this film is by another day. But it's but at the same time it is really great for us. We do like seeing that these products, um, and I think that this tie is probably, I say, my third choice out of the three
Okay.
new ones that they're releasing. Not because it's not beautiful. It's a very interesting pattern. I find
Hmm.
it. I think it's a very creative, and the pattern is subtle, so it doesn't like draw attention, but the color for me is a little too bright.
Right.
I kind of shy away from ties that look that bright. I think my complexion just doesn't handle them.
Oh, well, don't do that. Are you more of a summer or an autumn? I don't even know what that means.
I'm a summer. We're both summers.
Oh, you know that. Oh, my
Yeah,
summer?
yeah. We have pretty much the same complexion. I mean, once my hair starts losing the color, I'll look exactly the same as you.
Oh, God forbid.
So it's I think we have our complexions are cool, and they're muted, they're just low contrast. So because of that, it's harder for us to wear really bright colors.
I'm more of a UHF and you're more of a VHF, I think. I don't even know what that. I don't know what this stuff means.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I think that this tie, it's not the most flattering tie on people that look like us, but on a
okay.
lot of people, it's going to look beautiful.
That's amazing.
I,
You know,
I
I do like when brands like this, especially with so much heritage and history, um, come to the table with these types of things. And one of the things that I'm excited about, Matt, that I've got to tell you beyond this conversation and this
Mhm.
video today is in a few weeks from the debut of this video, you and I are going to be at a roundtable conversation at Turnbull and Asser in New York City at an undisclosed time and day. But I'm looking forward to that because I think it's going to be really around the heritage and men's clothing and sartorial aspects in general. Does it still excite you to talk about these things? Are you burnt out yet, or does
Oh
it still
no,
kind of get the juices going?
I can keep talking about this. It's still very exciting. I think there's just because we get dressed every day. Well, maybe if we're not working, maybe if we're working from home, maybe we're not getting dressed every day. But people are getting dressed, and because we're getting dressed, it just doesn't end. If we didn't wear clothes anymore, maybe these discussions would end. But as long as we wear clothes, we can keep talking about them, and there's always more just new things to do with them and new things to learn.
Good point. Matt, thank you so much for helping me talk about the collection. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
Matt, thank you so much. I just learned so much when I chat with Matt and catch up. And thank you for your opinion, Matt, and all the details and education, constantly educating us. And thank you for joining us. So this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and we'll see you all, so soft, real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.